Welcome to another gorgeous day on planet Earth and another day of Dose of Did You Know, where intriguing, inspiring, unique individuals come to talk about love and life and how it has affected and brought them to where they are today. With me is my good pal, all the way over on the East Coast there, living the dream, Buzz Bryan. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning, right? I don't know what Phoenix time is, but yeah. I'm kidding.
It's way morning. It's way morning.
It's pretty much like when you first sent this invite, I was like 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I was like, nah, dumb, it's 11 a.m. But
I mean, I could have wrote PM. I mean, I am known for like doing that and totally screwing up time zones. And my mind is like a mind F right now with that, just because I've moved to the West Coast. And I'm like, I don't even know. I'm converting stuff in my own format. Like there's no common sense going on at all with time zones in my world.
Well, and maybe, that may be true. I have a horrible habit of like skimming things that I read, and then someone will come back and I'll reply and someone will come back to me like, hey, did you read that email? I'm like, well, I mean, I kind of glanced at it and then fired off that response. And it was like, yeah.
I do that too. And it's terrible. They're like, that makes no sense. And I'm like, sure. And I will go back and read. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Then you go back and read it. And like, especially like, where I work, I'm like, and it'll be, because it's always this long, lengthy email chain of like 800 responses that you have to reply to. And I'm like, I'm not reading all that. I don't have the attention span to read all that, to be honest with you. So I'm like, and then I get that, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, you're right. I probably should have at least, give it more than a glancing view.
Dan, before we start continuing on this, just like, I don't even know what this conversation is. The pitfalls of our just like, I don't know if it's laziness or ADD or just in our own, I don't really know what letters people would put behind me, but I'm sure if I go to a doctor, they would put a slew of letters behind me and medicate me in some form. But tell the world a little bit about who you are.
Which is why I don't go to the doctors, because I know I'd have like, it would be like A to Z behind my name and multiple prescriptions of things that I probably don't want to take anyway. So who am I?
Are you?
I'm Buzz. I am, how in depth do you want me to go? So originally from Philly, born and raised in Philly, very proud of that. 22 years active duty in the military, a couple combat tours, all that fun-filled stuff. Retired in 2007. Started working for VA Healthcare in Western Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh. Did that for about 11 years. What I did there was I was the Iraq and Afghanistan transition patient advocate for seriously injured, seriously ill Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. So basically transition our most seriously ill and seriously injured veterans from the military treatment facilities into the VA healthcare system or wherever they wanted to go. I'm not one of these guys. I'm going to tell you, hey, you have to come to the VA. We're the end all. We have all the answers. I mean, what I do now in my world now is I know, I hear all the good, I hear all the bad, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. I respect that, and I want to really hear it. I would rather that veteran say to me, "Hey, you know what? I'm pissed off. I came to the VA and I struggled with this and I struggled with that." And I get it. I do. I mean, it's not always easy, and I don't want to bag on the VA because I'm a VA employee, but it can be challenging. So when I left Pittsburgh, I came down here to West Palm Beach, Florida, which is great. It's, Palm Beach County. It's hard to complain about, where I live. The job is challenging. I'm the outreach director here. Work directly for the director and the executive leadership team. Really, my role is to go out and into the community, work with our veterans, engage our veterans, try to find out why our veterans are not engaging us or utilizing our system, which a lot of my era veteran are not, for whatever reason. And work with the veteran service organizations, which are some really good ones in Florida, as well as, throughout the nation. We could talk about that because I think what some of our veterans are doing is just amazing. I work the congressional offices. I kind of bounce around all over the place. I mean, I really do. I mean, right now, I'm the acting public affairs officer, which is not fun. Not fun at all, but we're surviving. We're down a medical media chief. We're struggling a little bit here, but hopefully we'll get some new people on board and they can rescue me, because at times I feel like I'm drowning.
Are you drowning, Buzz? Are you feeling sometimes like you're drowning?
Yeah, and I'm comfortable in the water, but it's just like, man, I'm trying to get my head above the water. But public affairs is a different beast that I thought I knew a lot about, was pretty good at. I mean, I think I'm good at the outreach part of it, and talking to people and having no issues with the media, talking to media. That's easy. Actually, writing talking points and representing. It's even representing like the leadership team and speaking to people is not an issue for me. It's some of the other challenges come around, and how to deal with some of these media inquiries, and we're getting a lot of them. There's been some new things coming out about the VA. It's in the media, kinda. It's challenging.
I always think there's good and bad with everything, right? You go into a private practice of any kind, or a company or a business, and you've got great people and you've bad people, right? And that's just the way it is. So what do you think? And I feel like you're in the VA system. I love you. I love your work. You have your heart is a heart of service and really trying to make a difference. So why is it just our human nature that we refuse to focus on that? It just does not get us excited. I feel if we highlighted the good of the ripple effect of people will trail down, right? And it kind of scoots the bad out. But when we highlight the ickiness that's going on, or the bad, or the things that we want to change, all we do is promote more of that. It's just kind of like what you hear, you move to, right? So if this is in your mind, this is what you're going to go to, and you're subconsciously making the VA or a company or a society just crap.
Right. Hey, listen, morbidity sells, hate breeds hate. I believe that. It's I tell people all the time, and I tell a lot of our veterans as well as our community partners, I say, there's a lot of good that goes on within these walls. Now, it's challenging at times, and I think some of our veterans get frustrated at the system. It's a government bureaucracy at times. It's frustrating. When I was going through my process of getting service at the VA and working with service connections and all that kind of stuff, it's frustrating. And sometimes if you don't find that person inside them walls, then it's you crash and burn, and then you become so frustrated that you're right. You have this opinion of the VA that is just negative. And it just spirals out of control. When I first did it, it was applying for benefits. I was denied, and I was like, what do you mean I'm denied? I served in combat, blah, blah, blah. I have all this and that. And it was like, well, you're outside your 5-year window, because originally the Iraq and Afghanistan had 5-year free healthcare. But if you went outside that window and didn't enroll, sometimes that goes away, and there's different criteria. And if you don't have certain information, or have served a certain way, or done something in the military, you're not always eligible for healthcare. Which, when I have to tell a veteran that, I can't tell you how that conversation. It is not a fun conversation.
No,
it's an upsetting conversation for some. Imagine being that 94-year-old World War II veteran, and you have to tell him or her, or him or her, they're not eligible for care. It's like telling. I
can't imagine. I don't think society knows that. I know society doesn't know that. They think,
and this is a whole other. It's a whole other conversation with VA benefits. That's just. And one of the things about the current situation we're in with COVID and this and that, and the vaccinations and everything, that brought it out into light a lot more. And I don't even know how we got on this topic, but anyway, it's
rabbit hole.
We had everyone, a lot of our veterans wanted to be vaccinated, had never utilized VA services, and we found out that they were ineligible for whatever reason. But like I said, imagine telling a 94-year-old World War II veteran that you're not eligible for care because your income is too much. It's, that poor man looked at me like, you're saying everything that I've done for this country and my service doesn't matter. And that's not what we're saying, at the West Palm Beach VA or the Tampa VA. That's not what we're saying. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's a law that we have, we can't change. I mean, our legislators are the ones who have to change it, and hopefully they will. Hopefully they'll review it at some point, because it's horrible. It really is. And, to hear a veteran tell me who served in our greatest generation that you're telling me my service doesn't matter, and we all know without them, who knows where we would be.
Right.
And, so.
I'm just curious. There's so many, maybe you did this on purpose or not, or I kind of want to know now, is that I would think that there are all these veteran outside groups, right? Like these nonprofits and these organizations that are kind of trying to not replace, but what is that word I'm looking for? Fill in the holes, the gaps maybe of situations like that. Mm-hmm. I would think that maybe not, probably not, but the VA would want to collaborate, or people within the VA would want to collaborate, at least know those organizations. So when you have to say no, you could say like, look, this is the law. This is why you need to vote. This is why your kids, your grandkids need to vote. Be educated about what's going on. But check out these people because they might be able to do something that we can. Is that something that actually is promoted, or maybe we should start?
Well, I can tell you it's one of the reasons why I'm here. We had a lot of success in Western PA with doing that very same thing and getting out and, instead of telling a veteran, hey, I'll be at the VA in my office on this day at this time, come in. And I remember, me and my partner saying to our director, if the veterans are concerned about coming now or don't want to come now for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is, why would I say to them or expect someone to come in and see me in my office? If we're going to be successful, let's take our show to them. So what we started doing is we started going physically to them. And if that meant that they were incarcerated, we went there and explained to them, hey, you know what, you're I know where you are now, but when you get out or whatever, here's what you're going to do, or here's how we can help you. If you were a homeless guy, we went under the bridges. We found them, where they were at, and started doing more of that. We went to where they were. Hey, if you don't want to come in, I'll come to you. I'll buy you breakfast. I'll buy you lunch. We'll have a cup of coffee, whatever. I want you to understand how important you are to us. And the good thing is we were both veterans, so we both had similar backgrounds. We could sit down and speak the same language that these guys and gals that we were engaging had. And that's what we've brought down here. And it's a little different down here in Palm Beach County than it was in Western PA. There's different challenges, but we encourage, and we have a new director here who's wonderful. He was a dust-off pilot. He's an Army pilot. He's an Iraq War veteran as well. Not saying that means he's better than someone who may or may not be, but he gets it as well. Right. He understands the importance of outreach. He understands the importance of let's go to them. So so many of our we go anywhere. I mean, I will go to any event. I mean, it could be a concert. I mean, I know like the pandemic has really, changed a lot of how we're doing outreach right now. And hopefully it looked like for a while, I mean, we were getting out more and more and we were seeing it. Now we have this new whatever going on and surge and stuff like that. And hopefully, whatever, we work through it. But we want to be out there. We want to be working. I mean, like I said, there's great groups, and some of them really here in Florida. I mean, we have one group that's specific, and I'll pimp them. Is Wounded Veteran Relief Fund, and they do amazing things with our vets. But the first thing, so if a veteran reaches out to them and says, "Hey, I'm in a bad way, I'm having financial issues, or I'm homeless, or whatever," when they talk to their social workers, the first thing they ask them is, "Are you enrolled with the VA?" Which not a lot of VSOs do, at least not in my experience. And if they aren't, the next question, what they tell them is they say, listen, we can help you, but we need you to enroll in the VA. We need you to get enrolled with the VA, and then once you're assigned a social worker, they know how to contact us, and we will figure out how to help you.
How to work together.
Which is really cool. I mean, and like I said, I'm very appreciative of it. I do a lot of work with them down here, and they're statewide.
A lot of places don't do that. Like a lot of groups don't do that.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe they just never thought about it doing that way. I don't know that there's I mean, I guess maybe there's some groups that have negative opinions of the VA, and that's okay. I mean, people, once again, this country is what it is because of we have that right, and I'm okay with that. I mean, it's like I tell guys, hey, yell at me, I'm okay with that. Call me, yell at me, and then from there, when you're done yelling and my ears stop bleeding, I will I'll get your information and I'm going to run it to where it's got to be, and I'm going to do the best that I can. I can't promise you that I'm going to get you the answer you want. I can't promise you that I'm going to be able to do this or that. But I promise you I'm going to help you out. I promise you I'm going to do everything I can. I can't always give them the answer that they want. But at least they know I gave a darn and I tried. And I think we're getting better at that. We're certainly not a perfect system. I know that.
It's how we were talking about earlier off air, where like sometimes you just don't know, but you got to just keep going. When something's on your heart, you just have to keep going. Like you have books. He has books out there, people. There's a new book that's coming out. We were talking about like you're not a publicist. You don't know these things, and a lot of things in an unknown world is frustrating. But you just have to keep going because you want this particular second book that you have to get out there. So you got to just forge through the crap. It might not be crap. I'm not saying what you're going through is crap, but whatever, the challenging times. What is it that's like, because my son does this, like being a Marine, he did everything. He deployed, went and did all that. And I am sure, I know like this much about his actual experience, because he'll tell my brother, but not mom. Sometimes it comes out, but they push through the hard time. What is it? Why they don't do that when it comes to themselves back home, getting like either their physical or mental health, like push through. So you didn't get the right answer from one person. That doesn't mean someone else can't do that. I mean, do you have advice on that? I'm like, because my son doesn't. He's like, I'm not going to the VA. I tried it for months and months and months. I got nowhere. It was like this rabbit hole, and I hate it, and I never want to go back. And I'm like, we just didn't have the right person. Like, and of course he's like, whatever, ma. But why is it that they'll like fight for business? They'll fight for their country. They'll exist. But when it comes to themselves, and I've talked to many veterans from, 4 years in service to 30 years in service. They're like, it comes this realization of, God, I will serve everybody. When it comes to serving myself, I suck at it, basically, in Cliff Notes.
I don't know. And that's a great question, because I ask that question all the time. Like, what do you have to lose? And like I said, and that's where I started, where I went back into that, where I said to him, all right, you're frustrated, you're angry, you don't like us, someone did you wrong, or you came across the wrong person, or you couldn't get an appointment within a timely manner, all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, why don't you, and once again, I'm one guy. I mean, so that's what I told him. I said, I'm not saying to everybody, hey, here's my cell, call me and I'll fix what ails you. But I can tell you that, that's where I would start telling guys and go, you have to find that right person. For a long time we had customer service issues, Danny, and to me, I don't understand that. I struggle with that, and maybe that's my personality. I think I told you before that, you grow up and mom says, don't talk to strangers. Well, Buzz was the guy talking to the stranger. It was me. It's my personality. I get paid to talk to people. Really, I do. And I enjoy talking to people. I like people, even people who don't like me. And there's a lot. I tell her, I said, you have to keep pushing. You have to keep fighting. And most of them do, but I get it. You get frustrated. You think like, why do I want to keep doing it? It's not working out for me. I keep getting the same answer, but where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, and most of these guys have it in them, but I just think, maybe, I don't know if they get tired, if it's just frustration, you know, if it's the challenges of everything going on around in the world, a lot of these guys and gals, there's so many things going on, and maybe there's so many things that are not going well for them that you just get to that point where you say, you know what, you know, I can't do it no more.
Yeah. This is the easy one to turn your back on. You don't want to turn your back on your children, or you like you said, there's your job, whatever it is.
Right. It's easy to just say, you know what, I have a job now, I have insurance. And I tell guys, I mean, listen, we're not going to mess with your insurance. You know, I mean, you can come here and enroll and never come here. But once you're enrolled, you're enrolled. Now they may review your information, you know, if you've been gone for 5 years and haven't come. But I mean, you have nothing to lose. It's not a reenlistment contract. They're not sending you back to the sandbox or wherever we're going next, you know, because I'm sure there's someplace. But
it's interesting, man.
It's my great. It really is. It's one of my biggest challenges. Even not only here, but even when I was up north, and I think nationwide it is. I mean, there's some areas that have huge numbers of like Gainesville, Florida, which is like in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not bagging on Gainesville, but compared to like Palm Beach or Tampa or Miami, it's not an urban area, I guess. I mean, and they have some of the highest numbers in the nation, if not the highest. Now, maybe that's cost of living. Maybe there's reasons for that. And I haven't done that research and don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, because they're not doing anything differently that we're not.
Yeah, the question of human nature, I think it just comes down to like finding what's in here, in our heads, in our hearts, in our souls, and then what's the secret sauce? I don't know.
I struggle enough with my own what's going on up here. You know, I mean, to try and get in someone else's melon is just like, I don't know.
Oh, you're talking my language. One time, Travis and I we were hosting and emceeing for the VFW. That's another. I mean, I can get into those organizations why nobody goes, but whatever. The VFW golf tournament. And I think the camera's on. I know the camera was on and I didn't realize it because we were about to film something. And then the golf cars start. And I just start blurting out. I think I had 10 conversations in a 20-second period. And he's like, seriously, is that what goes on in your mind? Did you just verbalize the content that's in your head? I'm like, I think I did. And it was caught on tape. Like crazy.
Well, Travis is a really smart guy. I mean, I get worried when I like I just like talking to Travis through Facebook. I'm like, this dude is really smart.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like way ahead, and he takes stuff out. And speaking of VFW, so let me pimp somebody else or throw it. How about Andrew Farrar and everything that he's doing in Tennessee?
Heck yeah.
Dude is awesome. I mean, I always seen things, and I was never a Facebook guy until I got here. But now, I mean, this guy is all over the place. Killing it.
Like, no, he's like, he's kind of like, I'm coming to you, and this is what we're going to do with scuba diving and hikes and the VFW and a chaplain.
And you said it. I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. Like, he's once again, okay, you need my help? Don't worry about it. I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to drive 16 hours to Florida and I'm going to hook you up.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's like,
that to me is amazing.
He's a good guy.
Heather Clark. I'm just thinking of Heather Clark's another one. I mean, America Flex, her tour. Like, I'm like, how do you do that? As I'm sitting here angry because I'm that government employee thinking like, what gives you, and what's amazing to me, and I know I'm all over the place, is that takes courage to just say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to travel around the country. I'm going to travel around a certain area, and I'm going to do this, or this, and to help people. I mean, how cool is that? How selfless is that? I mean, I just think about that. I love that. I love what they do. And those are just a couple. And we know about my guys down here. I talked to them about them last time. They're just awesome people. That I am in awe of. Like I said, because I don't have, and I'll admit it, I don't know that I have the guts to do that. I don't know I have the guts to do what Heather Clark is doing and Andrew is doing and my guy Angelo down here and Wade and Phil. I mean, they just said, hey, this is what we're going to do. And they did it. And they're doing it. I mean, and it's
Like unexcusably, you just do it. But we all have our gifts. Your gift's not that, but your gift's in so many other ways, right? So we can't take, like, we just got to bless everybody else's gifts and bless our own, and then just keep going about it. So this time went fast. It was not what I want to talk about. Originally, before I even got on, I was going to talk about relationships, because you and your wife have, like, you've been together a long time, and I love that. But we didn't even talk about that. So that'll be like next time, because we went on a whole other tangent. Sometimes I don't know. It just goes.
32 years with Mrs. Bryan. Chrissy, I shouldn't say Mrs. Bryan, because she'll punch me in the face. Yeah, we need to talk about it.
You'll get punched if you're wrong.
She is, without her, who knows where I'd be? Who knows where my 3 sons would be? I think behind most guys or who are successful, whatever, there's probably a strong woman saying, "Hey, knock it off."
Right.
And she has kept me square, Danny. She's kept me squared away for a lot of years.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I want to talk about it, because I feel like you guys have this great relationship, but it didn't happen. So I'm going to have to harass you to come back on, and that will be the actual agenda of what we talk about, because I'm just in awe of it. I think it's great. I think you got to share that story.
Do you like? I will. Do you like that butterfly back there? I don't know where that came from.
Oh,
is it a butterfly?
Squirrel? I don't know. It's an American flag somewhere.
Palm Beach today. I'm at the Fisher House. The Fisher House. You know what the Fisher House is?
No.
We got to talk about that too.
Okay. That'll be take 3, 4. That'll be 4. But before I do let you go, Buzz, because you do have the biggest heart, a man of service, in this moment right now, because it's constantly changing and flowing. What does love mean to you?
I think I told you this before. To me, it's always been about compromise. I've always tried to find a way to just compromise, because I think it's hard. Relationships can be hard, and it can be challenging, and we're different people. I've always tried to compromise, and that doesn't mean cave in, because I certainly would dig in with Chrissy, but in my relationship, it's always been about compromising. I mean, you're just bringing 2 people that are totally different, and we are totally different. I mean, Chrissy is, not introverted, but certainly not as extroverted as I am. And I know at times she just wants to say, knock it off, or, but to me, it's always been about compromise. It's always been about listening, hearing. I think for a long time, I might have been, I don't know that I was really listening. And that could be that ADD thing again. I don't know. But, hear what she's saying, hear what your partner's saying, hear what your relation's saying. It's important. It really is.
Wise words from the Buzzman. Wise words here today. Thank you so much for just sharing what's on your heart, having a conversation, being open, and just doing what you do every single day, even when you don't feel like it. That is what it's all about. To everybody else out there, remember, as always, love hard, love pure, and love proactive. Until next time, we will see you. Take care. Oh, geez.